Yeah, it's there. Today I'm using the notebook, not my fucking charger, man. It's not working. And dial I dial like quite a lot, and I got like 10 pickups, and then like I exchange leads with this other rep, and I booked like a call. The girl showed up, but she was not qualified, and like I don't know, it wasn't even financially like wasn't a fit, like too uh, troublemaker, energy type of shit, and she wasn't serious. But it worked out the strategy of exchanging leads. It worked out. Yeah, like now I'm thinking about like using the filters, to do a thing more targeted, like more targeted dials, like call to specific leads, because even like if I'm calling at the good times, like the thing is like after all, like as the fish comes in, you gotta call as quick as possible, and like as they start to like get cold, you're gonna need more and more attempts and less and less and less. Uh, the probability of you connect with that lead it's lower. But one thing that I noticed is that after a while, I believe that somehow your number is not flagged anymore. And then when you call this lead, they pick up because, like, for example, those leads that I exchanged with this rep, I don't know how many times she attempted to call them, but like she called them a lot. More than 2 times. Okay, like it was probably way more than that, but like they just didn't pick up. And then what I believe is that like her name got flagged. And then like once I called them because I got like two, no, like three pickups. I think like she sent me like 10 leads, and then from this 10 leads, like I'm sure that I got two pickups. You know, um, and how was that possible? And like I was calling a shitty time, by the way. I was kind of like was like 4 p.m. When they pick up. So like knowing that, like okay, like now I have a better understanding of like how am I gonna organize all of this, and that's good. That's good. Um, and like one thing that I did, like I practiced the script, during the lunch break, and I just got like distracted by this like I'm not naked, by the way. Okay, I'm using underwear. Um, but I distracted, thinking about like those so convos during the work, and like I don't know, maybe I'm thinking too much. I'm overthinking, you know, but maybe I'm not. According to my colleague, no, actually the colleague of Matt from high school, this girl she wants the thing, man. But I don't know. I don't know. Like for me, as long as like if I'm not getting a result, like because like man, I wish I could say that I don't see that I don't feel as that, but like that's the truth. That's the reality. Like if I cannot generate any type of value, like be useful, like hmm, I'm attaching my value as a person to the outcomes that I can provide. Not like I'm not saying this for the sake of the company. Fuck the company, but like the way that I see myself, like fuck man, like if I'm not making sales, if I'm not like converting, no, like that's a conversation between me and like myself, like about my skills. Like if I'm not hitting those goals, like what's my worth? And like that's a conversation between me, just myself, fuck the like regardless of fuck the company, you know, and stuff. But like it's getting clearer as well, like the way like the funnel works and the pipeline and all of that. No, I'm becoming more aware of that because like I'm not receiving any leads. So, like you gotta be creative, right? You like for example, like this week, like I got like one live call. Last week I got four. And like this other rep, she's barely dialing, and she got 10 already. But like again, today, for example, she just worked part time. There was a bunch of days that she just worked part time, and there were days that she didn't even come to the office. So of course she has a lot of leads because she doesn't work the leads, so they're still fresh, you know. So that's why she can book the leads, you know, and that's it is what it is, right? But the thing is, like everyone is falling off when it comes to the conversion, close the leads, and that's because like I believe like I could say like it's the objections because that's a thing as well, but like mainly it's not like it's the inability to create urgency because they use this thing like this is a 24-hour offer and like no one believes that shit. Maybe, but like yeah, it's not enough to create urgency. And the proper way to do that is like the consequences of them not doing anything or like not seeing the problem. Like I'm learning how to do that. And also like even when like because the objection handling is only gonna work if you can create the urgency. Unless they are lay down lead. Then you don't even need objection handling, they're just gonna close. Because I know that because I have one. The one close that I did, I cannot consider a sale because like he was a lay down lead. He was already decided. He was decided to buy. So and there were like three, four that I could have closed them, but like that was my inability to object. Like both of those times, I'll say like was yeah, yeah, yeah. One was like to find the right price, and like the other was more about like yeah, create the urgency, but like also be able to overcome the objection, create the urgency, and like that was like a bunch that was like just partner objection, you know. And like now I'm more aware of that. And it sucks, but like it is what it is, right? And I'm more aware of that. Like now it's gonna have like new leads, and like I'm also improving the process like of booking the leads. Getting little commitment like the you know your does your number ends with XYZ? Yes. I just sent you a message on WhatsApp. Could you check because I think my WhatsApp got a problem here. And then bam, they visualize the message. Like now, first, my number's not gonna get flagged, and second off, the chances of them like viewing the next messages, the reminders, it's way higher if they never like visualize any of my messages. So that's really good. And yeah, but I gotta say I'm tired. You know, just a little tired. Um, like the work needs doing, man. And the only way of me get out of this misery is by making sales and making money. And I'm only gonna be able to make that happen once I can create urgency and overcome the objections. And the only way I'm gonna do that is by practicing the script and dialing to generate opportunities to have the proper uh, situation to actually practice the things that I train. So be sad, be tired. The work needs doing. Like the results doesn't care. Like the scoreboard doesn't give a fuck. Doesn't give a fuck about my struggles. My no, it doesn't. It's tough, man. But like little by little, I'm realizing that. The things of like this rap, like book more calls than me, this rap, close this deal. It really doesn't matter, man. It really doesn't. You know? Like because I think that's the thing of being an adult, be a man, right? Even though like you're feeling a certain way, you don't allow that uh, state of mind, that emotional state, to influence your actions. I think that's the thing. And like it's fuck, it's easier said than done. And I'm saying this right now. And like that was what my manager said. You know, she was like, when I was about to quit, she was like, you gotta, no, you gotta learn how to manage your emotions. Because I got lucky. I just got lucky. Like then my supervisor, she asked to to leave. You know, I got lucky. I got lucky. Most of the times that wouldn't happen. And like she said, yeah, but like even like you're gonna find like other type of people like her. And then what are you gonna do? It's life. And she said something like, you don't have like there is no one for you to cry to, like, oh, like no one cares. She said like I got like things that happened to me that if I if I were to tell you, like, you would feel sorry for me, but like that wouldn't help me. And like I always like I've been developing this mindset now, like actually having someone that I look up to like say that to me, I was like, fuck, man. Like that was like the time that I inhale and exhale, and I was like, okay, that's what hard feels like, you know. And like my expectations got reset, but like, and that's it. That's because that's the reality. That's the reality. Ain't fun, man. But like, it's real. And like me, like I'm little by little, I'm understanding that, and like I'm getting more comfortable with the reality. And of course, things will get harder. Like for example, the struggles that I had when I entered this offer, like I don't have those anymore, but I have others. Like for example, for me now it's clothing, right? And then like once I start doing that, like then it's gonna be about consistency. And like once I have consistency, it's gonna be about closing more deals, and then it's gonna be about like building a network, and then referrals, and then like it's endless, you know. So yeah, man, let's keep moving forward. Let's conquer. Bye.